Today I'm going to be updating my reading journal for the month of February. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are here for the first time, my name is Tracy and I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. So this is my 2026 reading journal, and today's video is going to be a little bit different because I thought I will just take you along as I update my reading journal. I will not be writing any reading reviews. I'm actually caught up on those. I can't believe it. But I'm caught up on those. I still have to add the titles and stuff to some of the books, but today I'm going to be basically updating all of my tracking pages and then my monthly stats pages. So we'll be doing all of that together. So what I've done in preparation for this is I have printed out book covers. I have not read To Cage a Wild Bird or Hemlock and Silver. Basically, these were all options to read for the month of February. This was part of my TBR. So there are a few on here I didn't read, but I didn't want to cut them all apart because then they'll be all scattered on my desk. But basically, all I did was copy the book covers from Amazon and then put them into a Google Doc and then just printed a whole sheet of book covers. That's usually what I do. So that's why sometimes I'm missing book covers on here and I just print them later. I'll show you what I mean when we go through the review section. But what I have done to help me figure out the sizing of my books, because as you can see, there are 2 or 3 different sizes here, is I have a little cheat sheet in the back of my book here. This is the very last page here. I just put what the size was for each of the pages that I need to sometimes print book covers for, because obviously my battle up the books, I only need to print one book, but I need to print it in a certain size. And usually what I do is I size it by the height. So I don't really pay attention much to the width, because if I size the height correctly, usually the width will fit within the box. So that is how I do that. I also printed out some images. I did this collage on Canva of some of the books that I read and some quotes, because I do have a page in February that I left open to kind of add some kind of fun things about the books I read. The last thing I want to show you before we start updating things and talking books this is my Jane's Agenda train case, which I got from a subscription box. Was it this year? I'm 2025. I think it was the 2025. I think it was the anniversary box, maybe. This is my reading journal train case. I highly recommend, if you have a color coding system with markers, stickers, or what have you, to put them all in one place, whether it be something like this or just a bag. This has just made my life so much simpler. So I have this pen case that I need to pull out, and I have this reusable sticker album that I need to pull out. You can see I have some older covers here that I printed and then never used. I also have a little binder here with all of my reading stickers in here. My reading stamps in here. I don't think I will be using any of these. Some of these stamps I used when I was setting up my reading review section, but for the most part, these don't get used for my reading journal, but I still like them in here because I know all of my reading stuff is in one place. This is a DIY sticker system that I created a few years ago, so I really haven't updated it since, but I just have random stickers that I created and printed off, never used, some more covers, and things like that. I don't want to get rid of them because you see I have spice ratings and things like that. I might go back to that one day as far as rating stuff like that. So yeah, that is my little train case, but this year I don't really need as much stuff that's in there. So I pulled out my pen case and my reusable sticker album that my friend Trisha made me at Go Wild. So in my reading tracker, how many books I read, I use this washi dots, and it's a color coded system. So I just did this, and I put a little cheat sheet just so I could remember what color is what, because sometimes they look very similar and you're is that the right color? So yeah, I just did that for a little bit of ease, especially the greens sometimes can look a little bit similar. So I need that. And then in here, these are all of the markers, mild liners, tombos, calligraphs, or whatever that I have chosen for a color-coded system. I believe most of these are for my bookshelf. So yeah, I just keep them all in this pen case. And I mean, for the most part, it's fine. However, you know, I may be hunting around for this ocean mist for another project, or for this tombow, which I think is a really pretty color, and I'll never be able to find it because it's in my reading journal pen case. But that's okay. I'd rather keep it here and then just use it for this for at least this next year. All right, so that is my little setup. I kind of wanted to give you that quick rundown. So now we are going to start with the updates, and this is where we go to my reading goals. Did I really just read 8 books last month? Yeah, I thought I read 9, but I only read 8 last month. Actually, it's not last month. It's January. February, which is now last month, I read 5, which, you know, is more on par for how many I read. There were some long ones, though. There were some long books in there, and I did not read every single day. I'll pull out my planner because I'll need that at some point, too, to do some updating. But we're going to start here. So actually, no, we're not going to start here. We're going to start here. And the reason why I want to start here, this is my gallery wall, is because I can look at this and then go back and figure out what it is. It's just better for me to do this. And to do that, I'm going to actually flip to my reading reviews to figure out what order it was that I read books, because I forgot. So I need a marker. We'll use this. So Iron and Embers was the very first book that I read. This looks so small, and then when you put it up there, it's like, oh, it's not. So I did read Iron and Embers. I will say most books that I read this month, out of the 5 books that I read this month, 4 of them got 4 stars. 1 of them got 3.5 stars. And the 3.5 star was actually an enjoyable book. It was kind of one of those books that I wasn't really, I was like, if I finish it, I finish it. If I don't, I don't. It was an audiobook. We'll talk about that. But yeah, so this was the first one that I read. I never colored in the Night Prince from January, so I need to color in that one too. Oh my gosh. The border. All right, so Iron and Embers. Actually, so what did I give the Night Prince? Oh, I gave that one like 4.5 stars. So I have my little goal marker here. So we're going to actually do this one from January really quick. All right, so then Iron and Embers was 4 stars. I was actually pleasantly surprised about that one. I was nervous about reading it because I loved Legends of Thesmar. And that is like a spinoff series. I will say you really do need to read Legends of Thesmar, because there's a lot of characters that come over from there, and you don't get like a backstory. So like, who's this kid? He's not a kid, but like, but that's what it is. So I do highly recommend reading that one before you go to that one. So then Magnolia Parks was the next one that I listened to on audio, and that was my 3.5 star. I actually wonder if I would have, like, how I would have finished it if I was reading it. I think it was better as a audiobook for me personally. It kind of reminded me of, like, remember when they used to have all of those like reality shows on back in the day, like, let's say back in the day, it was probably like 10 years ago, like The Only Way is Essex or whatever. That's what it reminded me of. It was interesting. I thought it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I could have like give it or take it kind of thing. I gave it a 3.5 star because I did feel for the characters. And that's what made it like above a 3 to a 3.5, because like a 3 is kind of like but 3.5 is like a little bit better. Okay, and then I had the Ascendant. This one was really, really good. This one was, like I said, everything was a 4 star. And it was because I've read so many good books in the month of January that I just don't know if they held up to some of those books in some of those books in the month of January. Now I gave this one 4 stars. I wonder if I should give this like 4.25. I'm gonna give it 4.25 because after thinking about it, which I guess that was like 4.2 because I only colored in one little Because after thinking about it, it was better than the other 4 stars I read. So I'm giving it 4.2 star just so I can like say that that was the better of the other ones. Then I read Belladonna, which I didn't really know what to think of Belladonna. And when I first started reading it, I thought it was going to be like a DNF. Not because it started out bad or slow or anything like that, but because I was just like, there's like the main, like one of the, I don't want to say main characters, but one of the prominent characters who kind of becomes sort of like a main character is Death. It's Death. It's kind of like, it's like a Grim Reaper, a paranormal creature type thing. And I'm like, really? Seriously? How is this going to work? But I actually really enjoyed it. And I think I kind of enjoyed it because it was YA. So it was written like simply, or simple, not simply. It was written simple. So I thought it was a little like understandable, and it was just kind of straight to the point to a lot of things, where sometimes I feel like your adult romanticities and stuff, they just try to make things too complicated. And then when you have like a silly premise, which I feel like that's a semi-silly premise, it just kind of gets, I don't know. Hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. But I feel like because it's a YA, it worked. So yeah. And then We Who Will Die. And I gave that one 4 stars as well. There were definitely some parts of it that I just really had me scratching my head. And that's why it wasn't. Because I will say I think all of 3 of these, I was like, oh, I need to know what happens. I need to know what happens. So I was like, wanting to go to bed early just to read the books. But I don't know. I didn't stay up super late reading them. That's like the difference. All right. So those are the 5 books that I read. So now I know the order. So now I can come in to here. So it was Kindle Unlimited. And then that was an audiobook, but it's also a physical book that I own. But I guess I don't know how to, I'm going to put audio, but I'm going to have to mark this off here. So this one fell. So for Kindle, KU is 9. Then audio, I borrowed this from the library, was 10. But I'm going to check off read 10 books that I own, because that is a book that I own. Then it was Kindle, physical Kindle. Okay, so I'm at 13 books. There we go. I actually read 2 books that I own. I did not finish a series, but I might have DNF'd one in March, because I'm filming this a few days into the month, and I may have already DNF'd a series. So there we go. So you saw how I did this. And now we come to my bookshelf. So this is going to be a little bit tough. So we have, I guess, Iron and Embers is definitely a romantasy. So the romantasy is this little peach one. This is romantasy. Then we have this one, I guess, is romance. Maybe. Romantasy. It's Belladonna. I don't want to call that romantasy. I feel like it's more of like paranormal romance, and I haven't done a color for that yet. So I might leave that one blank for a moment. And then romantasy. Okay, let me make sure this is the right color. I might have to label this one, because I'm like forgetting what color it is. Wait a minute, that's not it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this year's starting out pretty good. 13 books in 2 months is pretty good. Okay, so as far as this goes, I do have a gray in here somewhere. But oh, no, I don't need the gray because I already did this. I think this is it. So I read Iron and Embers. And I read Belladonna. I'm actually listening to the second one. I think that's it. Oh, the series that I DNF'd I don't have on here. Because I think it's on another list. Okay. So there we go there. All right. And then this is where we come to my 26 and 26. So now I need to get my star ratings back out. So we have Magnolia Parks, which I gave 3.5. That's it. Now, Donna, Chaos, and Fury, y'all. I just started reading that. I'm like 15% in, and I don't know that I want to finish it. So I think I'm going to soft DNF it. I don't think I'm going to do it. I loved that. I absolutely loved the first 3 books. Would recommend that series to anybody until it came to that one. So we'll see. So for the month of February, it is going to be The Ascendant. So yeah, this one was by far the favorite. I don't want to say by far because I did enjoy We Who Will Die. I felt like the We Who Will Die, though, like I said, there was just a lot of things that kind of left me kind of like, huh? So I feel like that's where this one takes the edge. And this is why this one got the extra quarter star. I worry about the We Who Will Die because, I mean, they're both of them have kind of different plots, which might help me remember. But I think the like follow-ups to the books are a ways off, and I'm kind of worried about remembering what's going on. Okay, so I don't remember what books I read for what prompts, so now we're going to go here, and this is where I wrote it all down. So basically, the way I do my TBR is I select books for the TBR, and then I write right here on the spine what the book is supposed to be for, so like what prompt it is supposed to cover. So for Bookopoly, it was Belladonna. All right. This one, I never actually wrote the prompt or anything down. I'm going to do this really fast. Beans were here. So this one was Enemies to Lovers, right? 1, 2, yeah. All right. This is just the bingo board I created, so I just have my own like little prompts on there. All right, so for Year of Goober, that one was pretty covered. I think that was We Who Will Die. Wait a minute. Now I need to put this here. I guess the bookmarks will do that too. Yes, We Who Will Die was for Goober. Do I have the small one for that? Yes. So We Who Will Die, I guess we can chat a little bit about this one. It is like, it has vampires, it has trials, but it's not like trials like your typical trials. It's almost like gladiators, because it is like an arena, so that's why it's like gladiators. Okay. Is because of the whole arena thing. And you do have a strong female main character, who has to, obviously, there's no spoiler, she has to go to the arena, and kind of like almost a fight to the death, but not everybody has to die. Like, that's not the rule. It's kind of whatever the emperor says. Like, when he calls it, he calls it. So, yeah. So I could actually I'm going to do colorful cover because that's what I picked this for, but it does contain a romance. I just felt like that covered everything. There are 2 brothers. I like the evil brother. I don't know if he's going to be a love interest or anything like that, but I liked him. I always like the questionable one. But I do think it was a really good book. I thought it was an easy read. The only thing is there's a lot of backstory that goes through it, and I felt like that could have been a book of its own. So it kind of makes things like you're trying to learn things about what happened. Was it like 7 years ago, 9, I don't remember now. I just read it too. But yeah. So that kind of sometimes gets in the way, but it also was really fascinating. So I almost wish that was its own separate book. So Keyboard Keys, I know which one that one was. That was Iron and Embers, because it has the ampersand as the and. The other one that I had as my TBR was Hemlock and Silver. That was because I was just so nervous to read Iron and Embers because I love Legends of Thesmar, and I was nervous that it wouldn't hold up. It did. It held up. It was really, really good. I will say the female main character started to annoy me as far as like the romance portion of it. And I'm not, you can see how this is like a little too small, but it's fine. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to like deal with all of that. Now I had another Ascendant cover, but it might be too tiny. Okay, so I don't know where that cover is. It might be the one that I chose to use for the book of the month type thing, but this is for the Ascendant because you needed a silhouette on the cover, and that is the silhouette on the cover. This is too big for that, so that's why I'm not going to use that there. Then we have a book from the top shelf. Which one did I use for that one? That is Adventures in Out. That was Magnolia Parks. Now, this here, there's probably a lot of these that I have gone through and can probably check off. But so what I'm going to do is I don't know if I'm going to do this like in April, like at the quarter mark, or if I'm going to wait and just do this like at the half year mark. Because what I'm planning on doing is just going in at one time and then marking off a whole bunch. It's just because when you start doing some of these prompts, I have a lot of books that kind of fulfill those. And I want to pick, like I want to put certain books in the ones that not as many is going to fulfill. So that we have a better chance of blacking out the board. So I'm holding off on doing this anytime soon. Okay, let's get into stats. What did I do with my stats? All right, found my cheat sheet because all my stats are on my phone. So I figured I would do a little cheat sheet. Hopefully I could decipher my writing. I think this is the pen I use. I really like this pen. I got this from like an Erin Condren mystery bundle. It's like one of my favorite pens. I don't use it a lot because it does like smudge sometimes. Okay, the total books I read, 5. How many am I going to continue? 1. I mean, I said that so wrong. Basically, I started and finished 5 books in the month, or I finished 5 books in the month, which I did start and finish them that month. I did start technically 2 books, but only one I'm going to continue. I am listening to the second book in Belladonna. Fox something. I gotta say Firefox, but it's Fire something. I have it. I don't even have it. Foxglove. There we go. That's the one I'm continuing. The DNF, I technically DNF'd it this month, so we won't count that. So I'll just do 0. How many ebooks did I read? I read 3. I listened to 1 audio and 1 physical. How many series? I did not count this. I think there was only 1 duology. See, this is why I love my gallery wall, because I quickly go to this to kind of figure out like what what is next. Now, We Who Will Die. I don't know if that's going to be, I think that's going to be a series. I don't think that's going to be a duology, but Ascendant is going to be a duology. So I'm going to put 1 for duo, and I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 for series. And we know we have 0 solos. Reading days, we'll figure that out in a moment because I actually have to count them. Average days to finish. This is a Storygraph calculation. 6 days. So that's how long it took me on average to finish a book. How many pages I read? I read 2,184. That is considerably a lot less than I read in the month of January. There were some books in the month of January that kept me up late. And then how many hours did I listen? 13.68. So Storygraph does this in decimals. So I'm just going to keep them all in decimals instead of saying like hours and minutes. So I'll have to figure out what 0.68 of an hour is. But I'm just going to keep that as is just because I don't want to do calculations if I don't have to. If there's an app that does it for me, that's how we're doing it. And 3.95 was my average rating. Okay. Let me grab, actually, we're going to come here. Let me come here first. We're skipping around. I know. So this is my reading log. At one point, I was coming in here and doing this like once a week, but then I decided not to do it anymore. And I was going to basically just go and put this in my planner only and then transfer it from my planner to this when I do my recaps. So I'm going to go ahead and date this because I never did that. Okay, and I actually need 5 more colors. All right, guys. So now I need to go back. Here's my reading and my watching log for the month of February. So I'm going to put this off to the side, but I'm literally going to use that to determine what dates I read because I really want to know what dates I read each book. Because like Magnolia Parks, for instance, that was an audiobook. That was one that I couldn't really listen to every single day, even if I wanted to. So I wanted to like track the actual days that I listened to it versus just saying I started here and finished there. So I'm going to start with that one. All right, so with that, I could just count the days I didn't read and subtract that, but I'm going to count the days I did. 1, 2, 3. So I read 21 out of the 28. Let me grab this and put this here. $21 is actually not a bad stat at all. Okay, so what I'm going to do really fast is I'm going to color in the ones that I read. I did not do another TBR that month. Interesting. Okay. Now, I can pick any color I want, and I just been using colored pencils for this. Obviously, because they're red, I think I'm going to do red. Okay. This one, I did have, what is it? Dawn of Chaos and Fury. Because that was on my TBR. Because I have them here. But that was it. I didn't have another one. So there we go. Those are the ones that I read. Okay, now I can move this. All right. So basically all I'm going to do here is repeat some of the things that I had on the other page. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay. I like that. I like it with the red. Okay. New. How many new duologies did I start? 1. Didn't finish any. How many new series did I start? Like I have to keep going back, y'all. Short-term memory. So I started 1, 2, 3, 4 new series. All of them were new. And then no standalones. Okay, now I need to figure out which charts, like which stats I want to do in the charts. So this month, I know I'm going to do the star ratings here. I have 3 different types of books that I read. So like audio, physical, and Kindle Unlimited. And then I don't know what I want to do for the third one. So last month I did, it's going to be half and half though. Oh, I can do the genre. Let me figure that out real quick. So I did 1 romance, 3 romantasy, and 1 here. Okay. It's easy. Okay, got it. Okay, that takes a lot longer than I always anticipate, but I still like the way it looks. I like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty good. So there we go. All of this is now done. So you can see this takes a while. All right, now let's get to my favorite books and things of that nature. So this is where these big ones come into play. So my favorite book was The Ascendant. We've already established that because that was the book battle. Oh, these are so big. That's like way too big. Wow. They fit there. They're just not going to fit at the top. Least favorite was Magnolia Parks. I mean, I don't really know if it was my least favorite. I guess it was. We'll just do that with the little arrow. There we go. Honorable mention is He Who Will Die. I do like these being larger because they do help fill up the space. Like this fills up the space so much better than that. Like I might reprint this and put this like over here. Quickest read was Belladonna. And my slowest read was Magnolia Parks. There we go. All right, so that's all done. Done. Now I still have a few. Like I have this one, and this one. I might be able to put in my book reviews. We'll see. All right, so here, basically because I've had an extra page left, I just left it to do like a collage. So I found some fan art online. I think most of this fan art came from the author's like social media. So I just did this. This is from The Ascendant. This is from We Who Will Die. That is from Iron and Embers. And that is from Belladonna. And then I just have a few quotes. It says, only in the fires of adversity can true greatness be forged. Which book did that come from? I think it was We Who Will Die, and I don't know. And then, yes, I think that one came from We Who Will Die. This one I think came from The Ascendant. That says, I don't need anything from you. I just need you to exist, to be here. There we go. So that's all I need to do as far as updating. I do need to go ahead and add in my other TBRs for the month. I don't know what they are because they're on my phone. So I'll do that later. It's also going to be based on the books that I read. I mean, the books that I have. There's one more I need to do for this. The audio one, Drink on the Cover. I did find a book with Drink on the cover. It was Arcana Academy, I think is what it was. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Now, it is possible. I can already tell you that is not getting colored in. Chaos of Dawn and Fury is not going to get colored in. So I already know that that one's not going to be done. But, you know, the point is that's what I had intended to do. So this one, as long as I can get it from the library, I think it's Arcana Academy. And then there's another book. There's also a book that is releasing, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. But I'm going to put it on here anyway. Finley Donovan Crosses the Line. We'll put it in this long one. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that from the library. Because, you know, once it releases, everybody wants it. And I think that's it. I think that's it for that one. All right. As far as my book reviews go, I still need to do the titles. I still need to do... I could probably put this one in here. Because I don't know what else I'm going to do with this. Okay, Iron and Embers. That one's almost spot on. And I wrote the review in the living room when I did not have my little bag with me. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now. All right, guys, there we go. So it does take me a while to update everything because I have to come in here and update literally every little thing. But with that said, I don't know that I want to fall too far behind because then I forget. Maybe I could do 2 months behind as long as I stay on top of, I would say this. And my reviews. I think I would want to keep on top of those. But for the most part, a lot of this other stuff I could probably do every 2 months if I really needed to. But yeah, that took a while. It takes longer than I thought. Usually I'm listening to an audiobook or something like that while I'm doing this. But when I'm sitting here just talking to the camera, I realize how long it actually takes me to do this. All right, guys. So there we go. That was me updating my reading journal for the month of February, and there was only 5 books that I had to do, and I didn't even have to do any actual reviews because I've already done all those. So there we go. I will see you again in this journal when I set up for the month of April, and I believe that the month of April, it will be time for the spring equinox as part of the magical readathon. So that should be fun as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed it, please press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel. That is all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.